morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And before we get started today, I wanted to remind you that we are in a catalog transition period. In January, on the 4th, we are going to be launching a brand new mini catalog that runs through the end of April, and the celebration that runs through from January to the end of February. And if you want copies of these beautiful new catalogs and are in Australia and are not working with another demonstrator, I would be happy to send them to you. Just drop me a line at nancy@nancysniftynotes.com and I will get them in the mail to you. I also wanted to remind you that there are a lot of last chance products from the September to December mini catalog. I've printed out my list and marked the ones that I have that are retiring. And you can go online and there's a place to click on my Stampin' Up! Website that will show you what is available to purchase through the 3rd of January and while supplies last, and if there is a discount on them. Some of the things have been discounted 40, 30, yeah, I see 50%, 60%. So lots of good stuff there available. I'm very excited for you guys to see the inside of these catalogs because there's lots of neat stuff. I just placed a pre-order before I popped online with you. So it's good stuff. I will show you what I get when it arrives. But today I am going to be making a 2 at a time card. I love these time-saving hacks. This one comes from, I believe this is from Lissa Zwolenick, who is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Wisconsin, USA. And her guide is in inches. It starts with a piece of 6x6 paper. And this, I'll show you, this works perfectly well whether you're mounting it on a North American size card or a metric card base. So I'm going to bring in my cutter, and I've got a piece of this Shining Christmas Designer Series paper. Hello, Paula. If you are here, please do say hello. My feed is not so great. I hope yours is better than mine is. But this is Shining Christmas Designer Series paper. And one side has got shiny foil and the other is matte cherry cobbler and white. I think this cutting pattern works best on with a Designer Series paper that's randomized. I think stripes or something that's very regular would be difficult to work with, and I think you'll see why as we go. So, like I said, even though my card base is all going to be in metric and in the A4 proportions, cutting these pieces in inches is just fine. So the first thing she wants us to do is cut off a 2-inch strip there, which means it's 6 inches. So we're cutting at 4 right there. And then we're going to rotate this and cut this into 3 2x4 segments. Set those aside for a minute. And this one, 2x6, we're going to cut off 2x2. So now there's another 2x4 section. And now this one we are going to cut on the diagonal. So what you do is you just line up the points in the cutting track And now we're going to rotate it and do it again. Line that up in the track. I'm lining the point in the track and the straight edge along a straight line. So now I've got 4 of these little bits. And now these might be easier to do 2 and 2. You can do them individually. Depends on how confident you feel about keeping your layers together and your points aligned and all of that. Sometimes I think it's easier to start these cuts from the middle. So there we go. There's 4 of those triangles. And 4 more triangles. So we are finished with the paper trimmer. Boy, I really hope it's just my feed that's being difficult. And that yours is clear. Please let me know if it's clear. So there we go. Yeah, so I have 2 Mossy Meadow card bases and 2 Cherry Cobbler first level layers, which in metric means that it's 10 by 14.4. In inches, that would be 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to put the bases aside, and I'm going to show you really fast how get them all in here. One, 2, 3, 4, and I think I twisted them when I cut them, didn't I? Let's see here. No, this one I want that way. This one I want that way. Yep, I did. Oh, there we go. So this is how they're going to be glued on. Is that right? Yeah, I cut one the wrong way, I think. But we're going to make it work. That's what happens when I try to chatter and there we go. Something like that. Okay, we're going to glue. If you have joined me, please do say hello as I futz around with this. I'm going to bring in a silicone craft sheet. Just if I get any glue that spills over, it's easy to rub right off the silicone and not muck up my fresh grid paper. See, like that? Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I think I cut one going the wrong direction. I thought I was paying attention, but I was also chattering. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a minute while I glue the second one. Hello, Jenny. Thanks for joining me. I don't know what's up with my feed. We may have to switch providers here. We'll see how it goes. We're still giving this one a try. It's different to the one that we used at the apartment, and it's different technology as well, which may actually be the problem as opposed to the provider. But we'll see. I will put a link to Lissa's cutting guide, presuming I can find it again, on the blog post. I will try to do it in the description on the YouTube video, but my guess is that the blog post is going to be a better bet. Yeah. And it works much better if you cut them the direction you're supposed to, the same direction. What I'm talking about is when I had the 2x4 rectangles on the cutter, I think I turned one this way and one that way. You don't want to do that. Okay, I went back and looked at the video from my Facebook Live, and exactly what I thought I had done is what I'd done, and I had cut in two different directions. So I'm going to show you the cutting again and point out where I went wrong. Here is the first cut at 4 inches. So that gives us 4x6 and 2x6. This I had done correctly. So there's 1 2x4, 2 2x4, 3 2x4. And now we're going to do one more. That's going to be the corner pieces for inside. And now we have 4 of these. Now, what I did was I divided it into 2 and 2. And here's where I went wrong. the first batch of 2, I tilted to the left, which is what I'm going to do here. Line up the corners and cut them. Now, when I did these 2, what I noticed I did was instead of tilting to the left, I tilted to the right. That is incorrect. Don't do that. Do them the same way. So, now, I don't think there's a problem doing all 4 at the very same time on our paper trimmer. It's just whether you can keep all of the layers together. But whatever you do, cut them the same way, and I will show you here. Now when we go to lay them out, they will lay out properly. So I'm just going to bring in, this is my sizing template, so it's not the right color, but I'm just going to show you that they lay out the right way now. You see that? Beautiful. Even spacing. That's how you want it to work. So I will go ahead and make these up and show you a picture of the finished product the way they're supposed to be. So don't do as I did in the video the first time. Do it this way. Decide, maybe if you're left-handed or right-handed, just always tilt to the left or the right. Maybe that way, maybe that's a good way to remember. Okay, hope that helps. Thanks, bye. Okay, gonna let that one dry for a minute. Gonna set that aside to clean later. I'm gonna bring this one back in and trim it with my paper snips. I'm just going along the edge of the cardstock here to trim off the overhang. And again, you can clean your paper snips when they get sticky with glue. I like WD-40. I know some people have used eucalyptus oil here in Australia. Oh, yeah, these. Yeah, I know that looks kind of messy. I think some people may use, I don't know if they use like the Goo Gone orange oil based degreasers for this. Yeah, I like WD-40 or even just isopropyl alcohol. That often does it for me. I have, you know, those alcohol prep wipes you get from the chemist. Okay, so those edges are trimmed up. Get rid of these gluey scraps here. Now, what I'm going to do is bring in a sentiment. This one is from Brightest Glow, which carried over in the annual catalog. And it says, all is merry and bright. So I'm going to do a couple of those on this scrap of basic white in Cherry Cobbler, which is very dark, but that's okay. clean. And close it up and clean off the thumb I just put into the ink pad. There we go. And I'm going to bring in my mini cut and emboss machine. And I have one of the Stylish Shapes circle dies. It should fit right beautifully there. So I can keep from sticking myself to the paper. There's one. And two. Okay. And I pre-cut two other Stylish Shapes circles in Mossy Meadow. I'm going to glue those on. There we go. Ugh. Did you see it jump? There we go. And I'm going to glue these down. Really, I meant to keep glue from being all over my nice clean grid paper, right? Ha! Okay, now we're going to get some dimensionals on there. Rip the dimensional off. Yeah, would be much better if I'd cut them the right way. But it works. Not trying to be mean-spirited at all, but you know you have those recipients, especially for things like Christmas cards where you send them out to so many people. You know you have people who will open it up, look at it, go, yeah, nice, and toss it right in the rubbish. That's when I do something like this and I miscut something and I make it anyway, that's what I use those cards for. Again, not trying to be mean-spirited at all. Okay, so then we had that extra square that we cut into triangles, right? And so we're going to take our inserts and we're going to glue. Now we could do both bottom corners, or we could do opposite corners. I think maybe I'll do one of each. We can decide which one we like. And these we just line right up. With the corners, like so. Obviously, if you don't want to fiddle with the little corners, you don't have to, but that way you use all of the 6x6. So there's one. Oh, still have to glue these. Yep. So 2 different ways to do that. And there the front. I think we need some bling. We always. Look at some choices here. Da, 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 da. Kind of liking the silver pearls. What do you guys think? Opinions? Hello, Wurgie. Hello, Mom. Yes, I know my desktop is out of focus today. It's not the focus. It's my feed. Because when I look on my phone, it's very sharp and pretty. It's the feed over Facebook. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with all these, but I'm calling it done. So I will probably do another version of this so you can see a picture of how they're supposed to look when you cut them the right way. But you can see you can get 2 out of 1 6x6 piece of paper pretty quickly and easily if you pay attention. And I hope that is useful. You don't have to use them for Christmas cards. You can use it for anything that you want, any theme, anything that would go in a nice little focal image there. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will be back same time, same place next week, hopefully with a better quality feed. Yeah, so sorry. Hopefully the download, yeah, I'm hoping that it comes out clear for YouTube if you want to go back and watch it there. So I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.